timing for U.S. services from Monday to Friday. During the day, they could deliver parcels. So they actually find out on the 4th of November when they peak. There was we were awake that night about midnight or so. Well, they find out when they find out Trump is winning, the trending. If we keep on casting the ballots, this one we could see Trump is going to win, and that's why I dare to say this time Trump already win. It's pretty clear for that, and under that situation, Biden and his family and other people who sold America, they did a series of fake and forged things to prevent Trump from being re-elected. And then for covering up their own evil, their own criminal acts, as we already explained for that 12 days already, today's the 13th day. We've been exposing a lot of evil and collusions they did with CCP China over the years. And then they will continue to sold benefits and sold America and American people to CCP China so that CCP could continue to enslave Americans and dominate the world in the end. So that's why they did a lot of fake things. But I dare to say, because there is a saying, and I don't have a final confirmation yet, but we already got some inside ideas that Homeland Security actually this time printed the ballots with some anti-fraud measures or technologies or features in those ballots. It's not just as plain as they did 4 years ago or 3.5 years ago in 2016. But Democratic Party and a lot of others, even CCP, didn't know that. This is an interesting thing. So we continue, there is this legal fighting going on in America but for sure we could say Trump is already win for now because they are still doing this. But one more thing I want to emphasize right now in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania, there's a town who is very important. They have a lot of votes in there. It's more populated, but election stuff just put on a hold in counting the vote because they got an order from the court. They say you got to stop counting because there are a lot of fake things coming in. But there's one more thing. We all know already, according to New York Post, they say Trump already lose in Michigan and in another place called Wisconsin, right? These swing states, originally by 11 o'clock, we see on the third night or almost midnight on the third, we already see the trend goes Trump is winning, but all of a sudden everything freezed until later in the evening, more and more mailed-in ballots showed up. As I said, that was from a lot of them was actually mailed in from China. And so when they find out this in Philadelphia, this news said Trump already lost in Wisconsin and Michigan. And the only thing they can do is in Philadelphia. So in Philadelphia, I think Democratic Party want to continue the count. But the court already gave them an order, just stop. So they're going to hold for a day. Thursday, that is today. They are not counting the votes for today and will resume tomorrow. I think there's going to be thorough investigation to find out what and where and what kind of ballots are there and getting the proof to see what's going on next. So yeah, to conclude, I'm sure Trump already won. Back to Victor, please.
Yeah, so you can see that from the curve, right? We have the two curves for the Wisconsin and Michigan. You can see that the red one is the President Trump. The blue one is the Democratic Joe Biden. So as you can see that Trump was leading on both states, but suddenly, so they just stop, and then Biden catch up. It's like a scope line, you know, it's like a 90-degree, and you can see that it's right up overpass Trump. So and then now he's leading right now. So statistically, this is very suspicious. That means, yeah, at that time, Trump stopped. That means nobody vote for Trump. No counts is voting for Trump. And then all the ballots vote for Joe Biden. So how is that possible, right? When you look at from the charts, you can see that they really just tell you the story just like that. Yeah, if just look at the chart. So I'm not sure if Mr. Sun and yeah, Harley, and what do you think about this chart, and what, or do you have other fraud you heard about, you know about? Mr. Sun first. Mr. Sun, you are on mute.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for that chart, there's have a different theory, different option to explain that way. But one thing I want the audience to understand: this is part of CCP have been waiting for a long time, and in this show, I told the audience a few days ago, there's definitely fraud on the ID and definitely fraud on ballot, and there's a key they will happen particularly in swing the battleground state, swing state, and that's part of we are talking about Wisconsin, Michigan, and also Georgia and Pennsylvania, and there's a few other ones, and Arizona and Nevada. So now, for most people will see, and there's a pattern, you counting vote, and on that day, you see the curve, some go parallel in a sense, go up and up, right? But now you see the big jump after the day, and now we're counting the mail-in ballot. Now, mail-in ballot by itself, for example, in Pennsylvania, it jumped this year 10 times than the absentee ballot. Now, you have the checking that 10 times. What's the reason why 10 times? Is there's all real one or there's a lot of fake one? I can guarantee the CCP behind it, right? So and that's truth that we'll find out. And Trump already got the first win in Pennsylvania. The local court allowed to recount and allow them to water those ballots. So there's a few other lawsuits going on. So we are go to the second stage, counting those ballots and lawsuits. And that's a part of the CCP strategy called create chaos for America. Now we go to the unconventional war, it's called legal battle. Now, why that's important to you understand? And so when they create this chaos, so what costs taxpayer money and the timing, and it creates empty for maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. We don't know how long it take and to even got permission from local court to recount. And then after that, we have the recount. Some of the vote, the ballot, maybe allow them, right, for certain few county for sure, and some maybe whole state that create a time and delay. So then the American create empty. We do not have a president for maybe 3 months, maybe 5 months. We do not have a Senate vote out. We do not have the House. So we create an empty space that create chaos. That's a part of CHP 3F strategy. They weighing this. They starting with virus, and to create. Then you create the mail-in ballot. So they have.
So, Mr. San, yeah, let's stop there. So,
Sure.
if there's no president at that time, no elected ones, yeah, what happened? What would happen? Who will be fulfill that position temporarily at that time? Do you know?
Well, according U.S. Constitution, the next one is the Nancy Pelosi, if she's still the power in the right
House
now.
Speaker.
That's right. So
Yeah, she's in the House of Commons, so yeah, she's going to be in charge, right? If there is a void period that president or even both candidate for both parties are in, in a position of nobody is deciding who win, and then she's going to jump up and in charge, right?
Yeah. So I want to hear what Hallie has to say about this, or have other news to share with us.
Look, you guys have already covered a lot of topics. I just want to start from a Canadian or somebody who was very interested in U.S. politics standpoint of view. Like November 3rd, right? We spent a couple of hours together watching the polling. I think by 2:00 in the morning, November 4th, Trump won. Trump was leading a lot of those swing states, including Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and even Arizona. Okay, so based on that polling result, counting result, as of 2:00 a.m., November 4th, Trump had a big win. And we believe that every one of the votes that was counted through the machine was already included as of that time. And the only ones that are not counted are those mail-in ballots, which has huge suspectable problems that you guys already discussed certain possibilities. And that's why like we've seen Trump made this speech at 2:30 in the morning on November 4th. He claimed that he said that I did already win, right? And based on the statistics, if Trump is, because remember at that time, in Pennsylvania, Trump is leading almost 700,000 votes, which is like about 10% of the total voting. And in Michigan and Wisconsin, Trump is leading by over 100,000 votes, right? And North Carolina, same thing. Trump is leading like very, very large margin number. He's not leading just only 2,000 votes or 10,000 votes. He's leading hundreds of thousands votes. And that at that time, like me and you guys, we all thought that Trump already won this election. There's no doubt, because based on statistics, if there's only 12% the voting not counted, and even if there's like 30% not counted, based on the trend, Trump will win because he has this so large margin in lead. So I had a good sleep at that night, but the first thing that I woke up in the morning, I found that what the hell? Like all these red states, they turned blue. And when I see all these, detailed counted votes, it's unreasonable. It's unreasonable. Trump, 90% of those counties, 90% votes went to Joe Biden. That never happened. That never happened. Like I saw this one picture showing that during this 1 hour, Joe Biden got about 150,000 votes and Trump gets 0. How would it be possible? How would it be possible? And look, there are so many frauds reported online. And remember, those social media platforms, they are on the Democrat side. We've already discovered that Twitter suspended Warren Pandemic's Twitter account since November 3rd night. And everything that they tweeted, they don't even mention a lot of things favorable to Trump. They just mention facts, and those Twitter are also blocked. For example, they tweeted that Nevada stopped counting as of November 4th morning, and some of the states they tweeted that there's so many absentee ballots, so which represent 12%. For example, in Pennsylvania, right now they counted about 750,000 absentee ballots, which represents about 12% of total voting. That's ridiculous, and Twitter blocked it. But these are all facts, right? Why Twitter? Why Facebook? Why these mainstream media are not saying all these suspectable events? Why mainstream media? Why CNN? Why Washington Post? Even Fox News? Why do you guys call those states, swing states, blue, like Michigan and Wisconsin? Even there's still 5% votes, there's still hundreds of thousands of votes are not counted. Why do you call Arizona, like yesterday in the afternoon, why do you call Arizona Democratic Party state when there's still few percent of uncounted votes? It's ridiculous.
So is Virginia, right? So is Virginia too. Yeah.
Yeah. So my point is, for our audience who are listening to GTV, G News, and Warren Pandemic, I just want to list all these facts to you guys so you can use your common sense to think about it. The mainstream media and the social, the Twitter, Facebook, those big tech oligarchs, they are standing by the Democratic Party side, right? Nobody is asking. It is reporting the actual facts. Like, for example, in Pennsylvania, Trump had 700,000 voting lead. How would it be possible that Trump blew off all the 600,000 lead, and right now I think the margin is about 100,000? Would you think that it's something possible? Have you ever seen it in the previous election? No. But mainstream media doesn't say that. They're just saying, because remember, Biden made this speech. He said that, I thank you, everyone. I think we had a very good chance to win it. We are on the right track. And all these swing states, I'm confident that we'll win in these states. And the mainstream media's narrative is, Biden will win. Look at the trend that Biden is catching up and he's going to lead. That's why they call these states Democratic states. These mainstream never analyze all these voting trend change. And the picture that we're showing to you guys, how can Biden have this almost a vertical increase, right, within such a short period? Every people have common sense. When they see this picture, when they see this trending, they will have doubt. And that's why we're trying to get all the information from every one of you in every swing state. If you see any suspectable events, a report. I think there's telephone number you can search on Twitter or Parler under Trump administration's account. But my point is, there's so many evidence showing that there are dead people voting, right? There's people born in 1800 who are voting, right? And there are a lot of absentee votes, and there are a lot of mail-in ballots who might come from a foreign country, like Joseph mentioned, might come from China. And we all know that, for example, some of the counties, they are suggesting the voters to use mark pen, right? Mark pen, and those votes using mark pen is not qualified votes, and a lot of them they're voting for Republican, and we need to find out, U.S. people, the Republicans, every people who believe in the the voting system in U.S. need to find out where are the certified votes, where are the documented votes, and where is the chain of the votes. Like, for example, did you get the proper stamp for the date? Did you get the proper signature? Did you get the proper address? Right? All these things you have to audit. Like all these suspected events already cause enough doubt to everyone so that an audit must, come in. And the problem right now is for those Democrat counties, like they are not allowing those Republican inspectors to come in. And that's why Trump is sending his best lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, to Pennsylvania, because that one is the most important state. And Rudy Giuliani already filed a lawsuit in the morning, 3 a.m. on November 4th, right after, they stop all these counting. And Rudy Giuliani, I think we have this great news that Ms. Sang just shared with us. Trump tweeted that we had this big win in Pennsylvania, which means that the local court allowed Republicans to go in to those ballot site, the casting sites, to inspect, to make inspection to those counting votes. So that's the first move, and it's indeed a legal war, because no party is going to accept that they lose, right? Because there's so many suspected events, and like you guys just mentioned, we all know that Chinese Communist Party is behind the scene, who is controlling, who is making this chaos in the during the election. But U.S. people, they are not necessarily into our theory, right? Like, because they have this system like for centuries, and it is beyond their imagination, like how this country overseas, like 1,000 kilometers away, can control the U.S. election. And they knew that they had this enemy in Cold War, like the Soviet Union, but they never saw that China, CCP, an enemy who is like strong enough or smart enough or capable to interfere in the U.S. election. Right? Nobody is saying CCP interference. They're always saying Russian interference, right? Russian disinformation. So we are trying to explain all these to the U.S. audience, to the Westerners, that the reason we are saying that Chinese Communist Party is behind it are very sufficient. First of all, President Xi, the party leader in China, had various meetings saying that this is a final battle between China and the U.S. They see U.S. CCP sees U.S. this ultimate enemy, like always inside the party, and they said that we're going to 3F U.S., which means like make U.S. Weaker, make U.S. chaos, and make U.S. like people die. So we've always saying that the virus is related. The reason that they send the virus is not kill U.S. people, is to make U.S. society chaos. And then they create this narrative that it has to be mail-in ballot. They have to accept mail-in ballots. And once you accept mail-in ballots, it will create disorder, create this chaos, because there are so many ways to cheat during in the process of mailing ballots, right? So that's when CCP came in, and they're creating all these fake votings, and they're trying to bribe all these like delivery guys, printing company. Remember, we had this news that at 4:30 a.m. on November 4th, there are hundreds of thousands tens of thousands voting who are supportive to Trump, to Republicans, dumped it by those garbage trucks. So, like, think about it. Like, tens of thousands are a very, very large number, because a lot of those swings, Trump is just leading for right now. Trump is leading just for like tens of thousands votes. If you dump all those votes, then it's very easy that Biden's going to take the lead. Like,
yeah,
for
not
example,
just that. Yeah, there's another example. I want to cut you off. Just okay, Hallie, is when the mainstream media, they are allowed to go in to shoot videos, to live report what is they are counting, right? I mean, the casting the ballots. But what happened when they were on camera, they really actually caught someone threw away Trump's ballot. When they selected Trump, they just dump it into the dustbin, I mean the garbage. And then they actually shoot those, but then immediately those media shut it off. They don't want to expose it, but it's already caught on camera. And I think Giuliani already got that. And yeah, but they so-called mainstream media, I wonder what happened with New York Post. They were the first time to post about Biden, right? And then Hunter Biden. Maybe they were guided by CCP, but right now they still say, okay, since Trump is leading 135,000 votes in Pennsylvania, why you stop counting now? Are you scared then the next mail-in ballots are all in favor of a Democratic Biden? This is what did they write in here? It was ridiculous. Yeah.
Another
okay.
example.
Sorry.
Another example is that there's a mail-in ballot. It's pre-printed, so it's already pre-printed. Biden's name there, so it's already have a dark marks there. So you don't even need to pick. So that's another evidence.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of evidence which raise serious concerns and requires all the Republicans go into those counting sites to do the inspection, right? To do the audit, and maybe to recount. So I think we need to play this video by Rudy Giuliani in Pennsylvania. That's quite a powerful video. During our producer is putting this on.
I'm not sure if he can. I'm not sure if he can right now. Maybe
okay.
he can try.
Okay.
He said that today we have a huge technical problems.
Okay. If we can, then that's fine. Because I just want to, notify all the U.S. audience that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay. Here you go. Yeah, we can. Okay.
It is very, very sad that we're here in the city that's really the birthplace of our democracy. And this is among one of the most anti-democratic things I've ever seen or encountered. And it's not just here in Philadelphia. This is going on all over the country. We have filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit actually required that when these mail-in ballots that are highly suspicious anyway, this form of balloting has always been considered the most prone to fraud. That's according to the New York Times when it didn't apply to candidate President Trump. Well, we were supposed to be allowed by law to observe the counting of the ballots. Now, observe means, to any intelligent person, being able to look at it. The way it's interpreted by the Democrat crooked machine of Philadelphia is that the observers can be 20 or 30 feet away, never able to see the ballot itself, never able to see if it was properly postmarked, properly addressed, properly signed on the outside. All the things that often lead to disqualification of ballots or make it very easy to dump 50,000 totally fraudulent ballots because they're not observed. This went on for 20 hours. While all of you thought there was some kind of legitimate count going on here in Philadelphia, it was totally illegitimate. So we went back to court, and we went before a Democrat judge. No need to tell you what the result in Philadelphia is if you're before a Democrat judge. Obviously a political hack who doesn't know the meaning of the word observe. Observe means to be able to look. Not a single Republican has been able to look at any one of these mail ballots. They could be from Mars, as far as we're concerned, or they could be from the Democratic National Committee. Joe Biden could have voted 50 times, as far as we know, or 5,000 times. The ballots could be from Camden. Philadelphia, unfortunately, and I would say this about my own city, has a reputation for voter fraud. You have a reputation for dead people voting, and we're going to go look at just how many dead people voted here. I didn't think we'd have to do that, but we will. And you have a reputation for people being bussed in from Camden voting here. Wouldn't be the first time that happened. But this goes way beyond any of that. And let me also add that this isn't happening just here. We have exactly the same lawsuit in Wisconsin, where exactly the same thing happened, except in Wisconsin, mysteriously at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, about 120,000 ballots appeared. Oh, here come these ballots. Well, we have no idea if they really are ballots. We have no idea if they're signed, if they're postmarked properly, if it isn't just the same person who submitted 100,000 ballots, and they all got counted. This is the way they intend to win. Now I'm informed by former Congressman Sweeney, who's been going around the country and collecting this information, that similar situation in Arizona, similar situation in Nevada, and a similar situation, what am I missing, John? Where are you? In Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. Again, let me be specific what it is. This whole new thing that never happened before in our country, these mail-in ballots, which has been a cause of real concern for everyone because they can easily be fraudulent. Well, one of the things that the law attaches to that is the right for both parties to observe the ballot, the way we do with absentee ballots. You make certain it's properly signed. On the outside, there's a signature. You make sure that it's properly postmarked. You make sure that it's properly addressed, and then you pass on it. A number of these are often challenged by the Democrat representative or the Republican representative. We never got a chance to look at a single one of them. The gentleman here who did this for us says about 100,000 ballots went through that process in the 20-plus hours in which they wasted his time by not allowing him to see a single ballot. Well, that's 120,000 ballots that should just be taken out of the count. So you want to look at that number, that 120,000 should come out. And this is an area in which Biden is getting 60, 70% of the vote. I don't know if this is going on any other place, but it is going on with enough frequency in Wisconsin that we've brought suit, and now we'll have to look into 3 other places. What it says to me is this is a concerted effort of the crooks that run the Democrat Party. And you know these big city machines are crooked. You know that. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years of one-party rule leads to corruption of all kinds. Voter fraud is one of the biggest because that's how you keep your power.
Okay.
So as you can hear, Rudy Giuliani talked about the 10,000 mail-in ballot at 4 a.m. And also he mentioned that there's a similar situation in other states, Arizona, Nevada, and Michigan. So pretty much that's what Harley mentioned earlier.
Look. So the reason that Rudy Giuliani went to that state, Pennsylvania, the first thing, in the morning of November 4th, is that they've already known, like Democrats prepared so-called like 500 lawyers, right? We knew that a few days before the election night, and of course Trump and Bannon knew it, and they've prepared also this very sharp legal team, or we call it all-star legal team, right? Which includes Trump's attorney Jay Sekulow and Rudy Giuliani, and also former Florida AG Pam Bondi, and maybe the next FBI director Sidney Powell, who was on the War Room Pandemic show the other day. So we know that there's so many beef between these two parties and the controversy mail-in ballots issue. So every party, they already fully prepared for this legal battle. So because they've already known that it will went to the legal battle, the second stage. And this is exactly what Chinese Communist Party want to see. Like when we are saying that the CCP is trying to make U.S. chaos, that is exactly the result. Right now, like this different parties, they thought that the other party is making some, dirty moves to not to acknowledge the result of the voters. And it might not be all Democrats, right? Some of the fraudulent votes might come from Republicans too, and that's how CCP operates. They won't, bet the one party only. That's too obvious. They always, mix both parties, and then the ultimate goal for them is to create this chaos inside the U.S. And like you guys just mentioned, if this legal battle drags too long, the president might be suspended, right? Because his current term is until January 20th, right? There's about 70 days until then. And we don't know how long this usually when it comes to legal battle, it takes even years. And for this one, I would expect it to be expedited, but I don't know if it can be accomplished within 70 days. If it cannot, then after 70 days, it will, have this replacement of the Donald Trump, like the president, and the replacement would come from the head of the House. We don't know if the head of the House will still be Nancy Pelosi, but if Democratic Party controls the House, then probably she will be the one, and that's something we don't want to see. So, yeah. But from the other side, this is just from a view of ordinary people like me, right? Because I don't know the inside information, but I know something that Mr. Miles Guo told us the other day, I think yesterday. He mentioned that don't worry about the result of the election. Everything is under control. Everything is going as expected, and everything is the best for our new federal state of China. And why listen to that? Of course, I believe him, right? But I just want to know why he's so confident. And here's my guess. So we've already trying to tell Trump administration that this CCP virus is a bioweapon, and the goal is to make U.S. chaos, right? It's not like it's to make you weak, so that you have to shut down and you have to accept mail-in ballots so they can interfere the election and then create this ongoing chaos in U.S. So nobody is gonna pay attention to what CCP is doing. They're this evil plan like 2025, all these one belt, one vote, and they're like all these collusion that they did, right? So it's their goal. But look at what Trump did, right? He did cut the tie with President Xi, but he never claimed this is about weapon. And his action, like he did some action, but it's not enough, right? And the ultimate reason, like I guess that Trump didn't do that is he didn't believe that CCP is so capable, so evil, and capable to interfere the U.S. election. He thought that based on the rally and all these predictions that Republicans definitely going to win. Yeah, we all know that. We all believe that based on the rallies, right? We all see that Republicans, Trump got the popular votes. But the thing is, you underestimate CCP. And this election blow to Trump is going to make him, quite clear that if you don't take down CCP, U.S. is going to in chaos for years, right? And the result now, like of course, I believe that Ms. Miles Guo already advised, Bannon or other U.S. politicians, but eventually it will go to Donald Trump, right? And every time since 3 years ago, Ms. Miles Guo is making this so-called prediction, but we know that it's based on intelligence, that every time he says something in advance that it will get proved. And so is this time. And this is how U.S. and President Trump is going. They are fully prepared, of course, because Ms. Miles Guo already told them, but they don't believe it. Like for example, like why Mr. Donald Trump didn't fire FBI director? right away, like a few weeks ago? Why didn't they fire CIA Director Gina a few weeks ago, right? We all know that those are corrupt people. Like they have the Biden hard drive like a few months ago, even last year, or even like so many years ago, and they did nothing, right? And Mr. President Trump expect that he will fire these people right after the election, right after he won. But look at the results. Will you get an easy win? No. You probably won't have a U.S. president like until next year, January. If we are lucky, we might have this issue solved by January 20th. If we don't, then U.S. going to remain in this chaos status. I don't believe what I'm hearing.
Yeah,
he should have known how serious this is. I got this comment from Justice Donald.
Yeah, I want to hear Mr. Sun, what Mr. Sun think. Yeah, so Mr. Sun, are you there or are you on mute?
Okay, I want to continue with Harley does saying. So there is a fraud for sure, and there's two theory about Harley, right? One maybe they are prepared this already, right? So and they maybe say, hey, this is a chance to vacuum the swamp and make all the deep state to reveal themselves, right? So there's all people come out. That's one theory. Other theories, I think the legal battle, they are prepared this already. And as far as no local judge block it, as long as they count all the vote and counting those, I mean legal vote, right? And the vote had to verify the date and all those stuff. I think that Trump will prevail. It will win. My own judgment, it will win. But that doesn't take that long. As long as they're allowed to recount, it doesn't take that. Maybe take 1 month. That's it. But if they challenge, they not allow you to recount, then that's a different story. That will last much longer because you have debate. Okay, you cannot recount the whole thing. Now I want to go to about and the reason we are here is try to tell the people there's a truth behind it. There's a disinformation. And if you go to Google, typing vote fraud 2020, you will see those people. I want reading to you, and from top to the first pages, right? On the first top two is a CNN. They saying Trump baseless claim of election fraud undermine U.S. credibility overseas. And then the second one is Al Jazeera is counting ballots is not fraud. Expert blast Trump claim. And then there's Canadian CTV News talking about claim of voter fraud in Arizona are unfounded. And go below, there's another full video that's about YouTube. The first one is Washington Post. No, Biden did not brag about the committee voter fraud. And then second one is C-SPAN. Trump campaign hold news conference in Philadelphia. That's probably only good one for us. And the third one is Trump throw baseless dart on the vote and falsely claim. That's from Guardian. And the fourth one is why, this is from YouTube, Inside Edition, why widespread voting fraud simply is not true. Then you go on the link. The first one is CNN. They saying U.S. election, President Trump baseless claim of election fraud. And then second one is New York Times opinion. Republicans claim voter fraud. How would that be? All right, then Al Jazeera and the counting ballot is not fraud, like same thing. And then Washington Post, President Trump false claim about election fraud. And then the BBC, and then the CTV News, right? And then there's another one. So, and there's another CNBC-TV18.com, election votes, live, all those stuff. So what I'm trying to tell you, they still playing the disinformation on here. They try to, the media is with them, and that's include Canadian man. So that's one of the reasons we are here.
Look, Miss Sang, look. Yeah. So what we're saying, like what I'm saying, is trying to tell the audience that Mr. Trump and the Republicans, Bannon and Rudy Giuliani, they are all prepared for this chaos, right? And the reason is, like, when CCP, inside of these powerful CCP families, when they deliver these hard drives of Biden, like the trust relationship between Joe Biden and the CCP family is already broken, right? Joe Biden is not even trusting his own son or his own brother. And when CCP blow off, the hard drive and expose all these scandals, how would Joe Biden still trust Chinese Communist Party? They won't. So are most of the Democrats, right? They are played soft on CCP or China issue is because they have this dirty evidence blackmailed by CCP. But right now, I don't believe that Democrat Party is totally owned by Chinese Communist Party. Because the thing is, all these hard drives are from inside of CCP families. And Joe Biden wouldn't, the reason he's hanging there, he's insisting to run the presidential election because he knows that if he didn't win, then he will go to jail 100%. The only chance he'll avoid the jail time is to win the presidential election and then stop the investigation on his son's case and his case, right? But the ultimate takeaway for US people is, you guys have to realize this fraudulent voting scandal is caused mainly by Chinese Communist Party. And it is time for United States to unite again, to confront Chinese Communist Party instead of, confronting each other, each party. And that will, continue to make chaos and let the Chinese Communist Party take the win. And ultimately, like, Democrats has to realize they are being used by Chinese Communist Party. Like, for example, the Antifa. Like Michael Bloomberg, he blew away $300 million on presidential election. He spent over $100 million in 3 swing states, including Florida and also Pennsylvania. Florida, I think he spent more than $39 million. And look at what he's trying to do. Even that he quit a presidential run, he's still trying to help Chinese Communist Party to influence the voters. Because Michael Bloomberg is totally, he said that Wang Qishan is the most powerful man. And he had this huge business relationship and, even personal relationship with Chinese Communist Party families. Because some of these Democrat Party members, they're totally owned by CCP, but definitely not Joe Biden, right? Because Joe Biden right now, you have to come out because you've already get betrayed by your so-called partner. They're only using you. You need to realize that it's not time to make this civil war. It is time to unite together and take on the external threat. Anyone who cannot realize that and still be the enemy of the United States President Donald Trump will also be the domestic enemy of the US people. Like Ms. Bannon just said in this War Room Pandemic episode this morning, that when he believed that when Donald Trump take the oath on January 20th, he will take on every enemy, both foreign and domestic. Foreign enemy is very obvious, the Chinese Communist Party. The domestic enemies are those people still, trying to be a traitor and in bed with CCP to make US more chaos. And hopefully, they will realize it's not the time to launch another civil war inside of US again. That will be right under CCP's plan. So it is time to unite again and then take on the external threat. What do you guys think?
Well, I totally agree, because Democratic and if and Republicans, if they are fighting with each other, now it's already started, like this lawsuit, but they hope, I mean, CCP China actually hope that these two parties or inside America can have a civil war, that people are fighting with each other and going to like different races. It's like if civil war happens, who's the happiest and who gains the most? It's CCP China, right? It's CCP. So that is why, you know, Mao School already warned about this like more than a month ago, actually a little, and by end of September, like I think it's September 23 or so, he actually already predicted all of this. As Hallie just mentioned, he had the inside intelligence from within CCP. He know that this election will end in an absurd manner. It's really funny and absurd because it says it's going to be beyond your imagination. Really, it is already approved. So from all these things we have been exposing or revealed, that it proves the threat of the CCP to the world, to United States, and the virus issue itself is now out of control. It is already opened up in Canada and around. So if US designated this virus as a bioweapon, the war will be declared 100% because there will be a war. But right now, why President Trump is not declaring a war yet is because lots of things he cannot say right now, because that's about more than a month ago, that equals to declaration. American law, by American law, they must declare war if there's bioweapon. So this election also, as I said, there are deep states involved. We've been exposing this. So, well, the American election, the whole process is, you know, controlled by CCP already. We see it. All of a sudden, all this mainstream media, all the census, even the election map is all of a sudden stopped. This has never happened before, right? So Americans should realize this is 100% controlled by CCP. And what happens now, because I said CCP controlled all the mainstream media, like Mr. Sun just mentioned, CNN got a great connection with CCP. They are like 100% manipulated by CCP, and with CCP wishes to concentrate on censorship, foreign intelligence, and promoting their propaganda, etc. So is Bloomberg, like Hallie just mentioned. Well, you know, the purpose of taking down the CCP will be absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the process. It's going to be like, you know, we already mentioned, like Miles Guo already predicted that. Like CCP will be like as brisk, just spend all of a sudden. I mean, we also talk about this because their economic and their situation, and the CCP might be taken down by itself, but we only put some straws onto this, right? You know, like we have this traditional Chinese saying, like, you might be the last straw to bend it over. So it's going to be, you know, a combination of this war is already started. So, you know, the cyber war already started, and also mail-in ballots and fake ballots and all these news, all these mainstream fake news. And, you know, so all of them are directly connected with even the real war, the hot war. You know, we all know in Southeast China and the South China Sea and the, you know, Taiwan, Japan, and those circles, that Pacific circles, island chains, And these are all in a process of doing the hot war. So if Trump declared war, the thing could be solved. But we cannot say right now because, inside America, there's a lot of deep, they have a swamp. Trump already mentioned we want to drain the swamp and take out those, people who are treason to America, who are selling America to CCP. And that is maybe these, I would assume that Miles School was part of it, like long time ago, and including everything is already designed and to go little by little, smoothly, or eventually, CCP is going to be taken down for sure. Okay, back to Victor.
Yeah, I think that all those frauds and also the medium censorship really take away the all the free words people's right, the constitution right of the voting, of free speech. And at the end, it's gonna hurt the core value of the US. So where is the fairness? So people can, they're cheating, then they can get the power. Think about that, how dangerous is that? It's like a CCP China, and it's not like a fair American anymore. So I think that that's really the damage to the whole free world. It's not only to the American people. So I think the American people should vote, should wake up, and then also because the legal is going on, hopefully it will end soon, and hopefully there will be President Trump will win at the end, because clearly President Trump won at that night, but somehow, yeah, it's like ending just like Miles Gore said. It could be ending in an absurd way, right? So I'm not sure if my co-hosts have any more comments or news sharing.
I just want to mention one last thing before we wrap it up.
Sure.
As Mr. Miles Gore said again, that the number one weapon of Chinese Communist Party is the social media platforms. You've already seen what these big tech oligarchs and mainstream medias are doing. Just trying to advocate every one of our audience. If you listen to us, if you think that we are making some sense, if you're supporting what we're claiming, please spread the word, and then ask your friends or people around you to watch War Room, to watch G News, to watch GTV. We'll have all the information that you can't get it from mainstream media. And this is the battle we have to win. Imagine if we don't have GTV is a new company launched this year. If we don't have GTV, who else will expose all these Biden scandals? Who else was going to, deliver all this inside information to US people? Like, we are not only helping, we're not here just helping US people, right? We want to help US people, of course, but we also want to help Chinese people, because as Ms. Bannon said, this is the most important election in Chinese 5,000 years history. Because if US became as chaos as what CCP expects, then Chinese people will never have an ally or external ally to help the domestic democracy group to take down, to overthrow the existing dictatorship. Anyway, just spread the word, share our GTV links, Genius links to your friends. Thanks.
Yeah, don't trust Google. Like Mr. Sam just mentioned, if you search for like these things, Google gave you everything but the truth.
Okay, and just want one more thing before we wrap is to remember the CCP is about cheating, about faking. Cheating and faking, that's in their blood, and then the propaganda. So we are here to tell the truth, and go to GTV, go to G News, and also turn in our show. We have more information coming in tomorrow. All right, see you.
Yeah, and Twitter, and also Parler, and also the Get.com. So follow Himalaya Canada. I think that, yeah, we are going to wrap it up here, and we are going to see you tomorrow around the same time. Okay. Thanks for all the co-hosts, and thanks for the audience for today.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.